Welcome to War Thunder with Subdued. How y'all doing today? Well, gonna make a little bit of a different video today. I'm going to talk about naval and the disaster that it currently is. Now, some of you that like playing boats are probably going, "It's not a disaster. You don't know what you're talking about." Oh, but I do. Just so that you're aware, Naval Forces were the first ones to use the term squadron. Air Force people adopted it because they didn't like being called a gaggle or a flock. The main force of a naval group is centered around a large ship. Generally, it will be a battleship. And accompanying that battleship, you will have heavy cruisers, light cruisers, and various destroyer types. Now, here's the thing. Naval, right now, you get the choice between blue water and brown water, or as Gaijin puts it, coastal. Well, coastal really doesn't make a lot of sense. It should be brown water, riverine, deltas, because that's what those boats pretty much are. They're meant for shallow water, tight, confined spaces. And honestly, a lot of the maps are ridiculous in that manner. But the larger ships should be led by a larger ship. Now, it can be a heavy cruiser, it could be a light cruiser, and it most definitely could be a battleship. But that's where the problem breaks down with naval in War Thunder. Navies don't work as individuals. They work in groups, squadrons. War Thunder is built around you're in command of your ship, and that's all you are. Where it should be centered, especially in the larger ships, around you being in charge of your own task group. Now, you're not going to be, directing all the little things going on each ship. That should be sufficed by an AI. But from a central ship, be it a cruiser of some flavor, or a battleship, or even a vessel cruiser, you should be issuing directives. Line abreast, line astern, um, come to course, blah, blah, blah. And this is how your task group should operate. They should operate with your ship, be it a heavy cruiser, light cruiser, battleship. If you're playing a destroyer, you should be playing with 2 to 3 destroyers and escorts because they work in concert with one another. They didn't work as singletons because that's like, well, a bunch of feral cats in a bag. It doesn't work very well. When you've got everyone doing their own thing, you've got a recipe for disaster. That's why I think Gaijin needs to sit down and completely rework naval. It's not the same as aviation or ground forces. Although ground forces is pretty messed up as far as I'm concerned. And I don't mean the uh, ultra low graphics point anymore. I mean, it's just gotten to the point of why are we even wasting our time with it? But those of you that like playing ground forces, it's not an argument for you or against you. It's my argument against me playing it. So you enjoy it, more the power to you. But naval needs a 100% facelift. If you've got big ships, battleship Mississippi, it should be able to lead the Helena, the Caldwell, Phelps, and the Baltimore. And basically, you're taking the position as the admiral in charge of the task group, or the senior captain, if you will. And that's how the entire operation should be run. That way, you decide what to shoot at. If you're dragging along, I mean, you set up the layout of how you're sailing. You'll have the destroyers out in front, and then you'll have the cruisers alongside, maybe a little bit behind of the battleship, and that's your sailing formation. When you go into battle, you will bring your ships into position to begin the battle. You may order your destroyers to launch a torpedo attack. And with the Japanese, torpedo attack is probably one of your first and best choices. If you're in Germany, you go into a broadside and use your large caliber to bring plunging fire against your enemies. And the same with the US fleet. Britain also, they have those big 15-inch guns. It all depends upon what Gaijin is willing to do. Like I said, right now, War Thunder needs a huge facelift for naval forces. Like I said, if you have the ships, you should be able to sail them. I don't know whether it's a case of AI or not, but right now, naval is unworkable. Now, if you're dealing with one ship against one ship, it's okay. But if you're dealing with your one ship in a supposed group of players, most likely it's just not going to end well. And I'm not saying that's because you've got some cheeky players. I'm saying that because the way I see naval, having been in the Navy, um, it doesn't work. And I would love to see Navy tactics brought to the forefront. Because right now, I just can't see how naval in War Thunder can advance. Especially if we get to the point where we've got much more modern ships. Ones that are capable of carrying long range anti shipping missiles and anti aircraft missiles with submarines and aircraft carriers launching their fighters slash attackers. Now, the aircraft carrier bit might be a bit tough to do because that would be basically saying, you've got these AI and blah, blah, blah. You direct them to do this, that, and the other thing. And yeah, AI in War Thunder for airplanes is absolutely insane. AI pilots don't black out. They can run their planes at max G load all the time. I mean, you see it in their turning capability. They're just turn, 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 or climb, 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 over top, over top, over top, and they just don't fall out of the air. It's just like, are you kidding me? So AI from a carrier is sketchy at best, but having 5 to 6 AIs under your control from your ship, your flagship, directing fire, directing torpedo attacks, that should be doable. And then we could have battles like Saragasso Strait. We could have battles like, uh, well, Hunt the Bismarck, Denmark Strait, or some of the battles that happened in the Mediterranean. Is it doable? I don't know. It depends upon what Gaijin's developers can do. Otherwise, right now, naval is a nice collector's pieces. I mean, I love the ships I've got. But stuff like Baltimore, modifications, yeah, you can see I got a lot to do. And the reason I've got a lot to do is because I don't play naval. I would love to. I would love to be driving the Baltimore with a light cruiser and 3 destroyers as the AI alongside. But as it is now, it's not possible. All right, that's my suggestion, and it is a suggestion for Gaijin to seriously look at. I don't know if it's possible. I would hope that it's possible. And this subdued signing out. Y'all have a pleasant today, a better tomorrow. We will catch you in the skies in Air Realistic on the good maps of which Gaijin still has created too damn few. Subdued. Out!